Luther's Small Catechism with Explanation, the Black and Maroon edition, copyright 2017, from Concordia Publishing House. The Eighth Commandment. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. What does this mean? We should fear and love God so that we do not tell lies about our neighbor, betray him, slander him, or hurt his reputation, but defend him, speak well of him, and explain everything in the kindest way. Question 84, C, and part A of C of the Eighth Commandment. How do we fear and love God in keeping the Eighth Commandment? We fear and love God by not speaking about others in ways that harm them. We fear and love God by speaking constructively about others. This includes A, defending our neighbors when others speak badly of them. Proverbs 31, 8-9. Open your mouth for the mute, for the rights of all who are destitute. Open your mouth, judge righteously, defend the rights of the poor and needy. Read Luke 7, 36-50, where Jesus defends the woman who anointed his feet. Luke 7, 36-50. One of the Pharisees asked Jesus to eat with him, and he went into the Pharisee's house and reclined at table. Behold, a woman of the city, who was a sinner, when she learned that he was reclining at table in the Pharisee's house, brought an alabaster flask of ointment. And standing behind him at his feet, weeping, she began to wet his feet with her tears, and wiped them with the hair of her head, and kissed his feet, and anointed them with the ointment. Now when the Pharisee who had invited him saw this, he said to himself, if this man were a prophet, he would have known who and what sort of woman this is who is touching him, for she is a sinner. And Jesus answering said to him, Simon, I have something to say to you. And he answered, Say it, teacher. A certain moneylender had 2 debtors, one owed 500 denarii and the other 50. When they could not pay, he canceled the debt of both. Now which of them will love him more? Simon answered, The one, I suppose, for whom he canceled the larger debt. Jesus said to him, You have judged rightly. Then turning toward the woman, he said to Simon, Do you see this woman? I entered your house. You gave me no water for my feet, but she has wet my feet with her tears and wiped them with her hair. You gave me no kiss, but from the time I came in, she has not ceased to kiss my feet. You did not anoint my head with oil, but she has anointed my feet with ointment. Therefore I tell you, her sins, which are many, are forgiven, for she loved much. But he who is forgiven little loves little. And he said to her, Your sins are forgiven. Then those who were at table with him began to say among themselves, Who is this who even forgives sins? And he said to the woman, Your faith has saved you. Go in peace. What does this mean? Speaking everything in the kindest way. That is a very hard thing, not only for Christians, but for anybody, because our sinful nature pushes us toward defensiveness and our own idolatry. We must be right, the other person must be wrong. And so just be aware of this, of speaking everything in the kindest way. The first thing is think before you speak, engage. The next is that when somebody comes in, maybe setting a tone for despairing someone else, like, oh, did you hear about that? Or what do you think about this? I don't like it. That to be aware to say, how can I defend the person? Not speaking untruths about it, but being in the kindest way, giving them the grain of salt, if you would, or giving them the benefit of the doubt. And then the next one is when a statement comes up that you know is not right, when it is despairing somebody, when it is bringing somebody down and tearing them down, and it's maybe done in confidence or it's maybe done in public, to correct the person right away, to say, I'm going to defend the person around me and say, that's not right, or do it in a way that's kind to them and say, maybe you should rethink that statement. I don't think you have thought it through all the way. Or maybe this is a conversation to have in private, but to defend the person, because so oftentimes we allow sin to happen because somebody else is sinning, and we're like, no, we've got to also obey this commandment in defending and uplifting our neighbor in public and in private when we do it as well. The Lord bless your day as well as your week.